Yeah, looks like we're good. All right. So I just noticed this when I loaded in that the seam that I fixed a week or so ago broke. So I'm going to fix it in this one. I just checked the other zone, and it appears to only be an issue here. So we'll just fix this real quick to start off. Bring up the music volume for you guys. Just a pinch. It was like almost off, it looked like. Alright, so let's turn off the water. Apologies about not being able to stream on Monday. For anybody who wasn't watching Zukin's stream yesterday, we switched version control from from GitHub to Classic. Hey Lee, how's it going? Or not Lee, sorry, Big Al. How's it going? Totally like quickly glanced at the name there. But yeah, so we switched our version control to plastic from GitHub because GitHub was breaking a lot of the prefabs I'd been making since last Tuesday. So this one works better. So, but there's been a couple, you know, just kind of like growing pains where like this, I'm not sure exactly why this seam decided to break, but it did. So I've got a couple seam issues and stuff like that that I can finally get around to. So we'll fix this one, and then I've got a couple that Nick and Luna have pointed out to me that I will attempt to track down. And do what I'm doing right now. And then I'll probably try to finish up some of the market stuff. Finish adding windows and stuff like that. It's been on my list for a while. That way I can throw some materials on them at least. So they look a little bit more complete. I'm still slightly confused on how this broke, because everything else was still like up to date, but it'll be fixed real quick. I guess I need to pro builderize this. Glad I double checked. I think there's something weird with the way we have it set up with the new source control. I think we're pushing our like Unity preferences to each other, because I keep opening stuff and then it goes away. So I have a distinct feeling that is what's happening. We keep overriding each other's settings. Oh, hold it a second. That isn't the broken up version. Oh well. We'll fix the rest of that later. I'm just going to make this kind of work like I did last time. And this will get more cleaned up once everything's finalized. But what is going on here? Looks like I need some more. And I need one right here as well. That one did not select. Oops. Did not select well. And nope, that one didn't either. I was just so far away I couldn't tell. Okay, so that same is fixed. Hold on a second. Nope. There we go. That's a little bit better. Hey, Sea Charts. How's it going? Okay, yeah. Now, let's save that. Everything's back. Again, not 100% sure how that got broken, but I'm guessing it was just some file was out of sync when we converted over to plastic. Okay, so I've got that. I know Nick had pointed to a seam showing over here, and I can see it. So we'll just bring these up. Pinch. There's nothing else. Okay, I think that's good. Now, I'm going to hop in the game real quick. Hold on, I need to bring Slack up on my other screen. Make sure you guys aren't seeing that. Okay, we're good. Because Luna took a couple of screenshots with locations. Actually, I could hold it. Let's try this. I think the locations are just based off the grid. So, let's try something. Oop, I don't want stairs. Let's make a really big box. And we'll set our settings to it. So we've got 3, 8, 7, 1, 7, 5. Actually, 7, 6. And then negative 907.7 and 1614.48. That is not correct. What did I input wrong? Oh, hold on. These might not be in XYZ order. Yeah, they're most definitely not. Actually, no. This one will go there. This one. Alright, we're just going to go in and do it the way I know how to do it. Apparently, what I'm trying to do is not the way. And I haven't opened up. Hey, Zukin, how's it going? Oh, you know what? I might have been putting in the wrong location. There's a couple locations on here. Well, we'll run around. That beanie's awesome. Which one am I? Oh, I'm wearing the M&M one. I almost forgot what beanie I put on this morning. Eventually, we'll end up... You guys will have access to merch as well. Hey, Anitas. How's it going? Let's go with human. Because I don't feel like dying. Oh, I don't have this maximizing, do I? There we go. Okay. Slash... Oh, I guess I have to do full slash lock. So I added some torches around here. And finally got them to work. I added new tents. Oh, and I haven't tested them again since I brought them in. So I need to go fix their collisions, it looks like. So the prefabs are broken. We'll do that too. Are all of them broken? Yes, they're all broken. Okay, so we'll have to go and fix those. Awesome. I'm going to Chicago from a hot place, so beanies might be good. Beanies are great all the time. Well, maybe not when it's like 90 degrees out. Alright. So we've got the 380. Let me fly. This is going to be easier. You know what? This might be... Yep. The bathhouse. Okay, so bathhouse needs to be fixed. Is one. Where's the other one? The other one is 286, so it should be okay. And then 14. So this way. Hold on a second. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong number. So I was going the right way. We need 14.9. So essentially when I hit the 15, we're good. Is this in the docks? Oh no, I think it's over here. Okay. Oh, it's somewhere in the docks, which means Baloo is probably already found and fixed it. 8.6 9.14. Nope, maybe not. Come on, jump. There we go. Hey, Cypher, how's it going? 9.14. Oh, it's right here. It was over here. Alright, so this needs to get fixed. Is there any other seams around here? So we got 2 seams. And what was the other? Oh. So we got those 2 seams to fix, and then we have to fix the collisions on the prefabs. Load our subscenes. Loving the silky smooth frame rate. It's actually even nicer in the build version. Although I think we're still fixing the automated building. Since we did the conversion to plastic a couple days ago. We're still fixing a couple issues here and there. Hey, Elorm. Good afternoon to you as well. Alright, so that is good. Are you working on textures or gray box or just going through and finding tears? So, right now, I am going through and repairing a couple of issues that, I totally did not notice that when I was fixing that. That's kind of sad. Anyways, I'm fixing a couple of, seam issues that we have. This one I know specifically because I had to, like, rebuild this a ton of times. This was what I was trying to fix, like, a month ago when the terrain was breaking. Or maybe 2 months ago now. And I fixed it, like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times, maybe more, on stream, and it just kept breaking. And then I don't think I ever went back and fixed it, so that explains this. But yeah, I'm just going through and fixing a couple of seam issues that Nick and Luna had pointed out and given me reference to. So, fixing those. And then fixing some other kind of odds and ends type things that have broken in the last couple days because of our conversion from GitHub to plastic. I feel like this needs a stairwell. Not a big one. One 2 by 2. Hold it a second. Oh, I made it on a not flat surface. That was my fault. Okay, so if it's 1, this step count should be a 4. And we'll add another edge loop going across this. Hey Durgoth, how's it going? That one looks a little ugly, so let's collapse that. Okay, that's a little bit better. And maybe grab these and give it a little bit of a space there. I kind of want to do that. And now I'm just gonna go through here and fix these little height issues from that small adjustment. I'm sure I just reopened the seam that I just closed. Hold on. I think I skipped a message. Right on. I had an odd question. Do small races see through walls? Or do you guys stop that kind of thing from happening? Reference gnomes and EQ. Currently, and I don't know if there is any plan to stop it, but currently, I don't know, actually currently, the last time I was on a gnome, our gnomes could do that. I don't know if there are any plans to stop that, or if it's going to be a continued kind of thing. I'm not aware of a plan to stop that, though. I can say that much. Was up to 4 a.m. on a support issue, partial data center wide outage, dragging today. Ooh, that sounds awful. I would be dragging as well. I actually, for the first night in a while, got to bed at a decent hour. Do you work at Nationwide? No, but it's entirely possible they are one of the customers that was impacted. I think Sean says he likes that stuff. Yeah, BDC. I know it's been said that I know Sean likes that, and it's been talked about. I don't know if there's been any change on that at all. But I don't think there has been. And if there is, I just wasn't aware of it. But I think that kind of stuff will be left in. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's see the tent prefabs. Okay, let's go the hierarchy. Collision has a collider. Hold on, I'm looking at the wrong tent. This is the one that I want to look at. Or these are the ones I want to look at. Okay, so apparently these were some of the broken prefabs, but it looks like the models themselves also broke. Oh, it's not gonna be that model. It's gonna be an art models. Structure or object? I can't remember what I put them in. I don't know. Where did I put them? Weird. Oh, they're in props. They shouldn't be in props. I need to move that. That is a bad spot for that. Models, structures. There we go. Okay, so we need to generate some colliders for these again. And then in the prefabs, I need to turn on the collision on my collision mesh, and I need to turn off the collision on my actual like fabric mesh. Hold on, I'm in the, what am I doing? I'm in the one right now. So you can see there's a collision mesh here, which I'll move back, that actually has some thickness to it, so it's hard to see because the camera keeps freaking out on it. There we go. You can see there's a little bit of thickness. I basically extruded the face inwards, and then these ones are just one plane of thickness. The problem is that the collision's based on your normal, so you can collide against the outside of it, but without this extra collision mesh, you could run through the other side of it, which was an issue that I found with these ones. I just found a better way of doing it. I need to eventually update this, but so this one, we don't want to be able to see it. We do want to have the collision, and then that one we want to have the collision. Okay, so is that all I had to do? I guess they are set up properly in here. Yeah, because you can see that one. Okay, that makes my life easier. I'll double check this one as well. But the collision mesh apparently was lost in our conversion process. So those should work now. Let's double check. Let's see. Has anyone actually ever been to the bathhouse? Or ever been to a bathhouse? My wife had us go to this Korean spa in Chicago over our last anniversary, and it was actually an enjoyable experience. I have not, actually. My family bought me for Father's Day years ago. I'm assuming it's still good, but there's a like a float spa around here. And I have like one session where I can go like basically lay down in a pot of, I think, salt water and float for an hour while listening to relaxing music. But I have yet to actually use that. Okay, so that is good. I might make the stairwell, or not the stairwell, the kind of like landing here a little bigger. I might do that by pushing the building back a little bit. But that's not what I'm here to check out. So collision on the outside, collision on the inside. That somehow got pushed into the wall. This is... I need to shrink these back down. Those are larger than I thought. So we'll fix that in a minute. Collision on the outside and inside. And then this one, outside, inside. Those need to be rescaled. Oh, I don't have fly on still. Now this one up here I set to a point 1.5 the import. The other ones I doubled because they felt too small when I initially put them in, but okay, that's better. So I guess I'll just do 1.5 on those. And the 2 feels good on this, I think. Could even be smaller, but yeah, this definitely needs to be shrunk. So let's fix that next. I'm gonna run back to the Traveler's Ward camp first, since that's going to be an easier place to check all this stuff. I went to one when I lived in Italy. I can't remember being more relaxed in my life. Not sure if that was the spa or the fact that was the first break from work. Okay. The one I went to, hold on a second. Load this while I'm reading. Or attempting to read. The one, excuse me, I went to was used for businesses and meetings. It was odd. Are you guys planning to have wind, water impact the cloth? We've talked about it. If we go that route, we might try magic cloth with it, but I know when we had talked about it a couple months ago, for to cut down on the processing, we talked about potentially like baking out animations. So there'd be like a, no breeze, light breeze, sandstorm, like where it's shaking more. But we've talked about baking out those animations as opposed to simulating them, especially since there's going to be a bunch of tents and sails and stuff like that. So that'd be a lot of cloth simulating at one time. So that is the plan. And it sounds like YouTube's already yelling at me. Yes, it is. I'm still listening. YouTube's so needy. Make sure that I'm paying attention. Okay, so those are fixed. This needs to be as well. Make sure these are all grounded still. Alright, those are not. That one's not. I'm going to go fix that. This one is... This one is not. Let's see. I was thinking the same thing, Durgoth. Wonder how much animations would be needed to flutter a cloth. Again, it shouldn't be that bad to do some simulations on the individual meshes, and then bake them so they're just not, they're pre-done essentially and not actively simulating. But we might even try that method and see how well it works once we... That'll be more of a fine-tuning pass type thing that we're not necessarily worried about at this very second. And obviously, these are all using the same materials right now. We'll have more designs and stuff like that. I just made this, God, probably 9 months ago. 10 months ago. It's been a while. So, because that was based off of something from one of Goblin's first concepts for the project. But we haven't concepted out any other colors or designs, so I've just been kind of using that one as a trim for now. So these might even be laid out completely differently at some point. Oop. I just noticed I have an issue with the normals on these. I did not soften that normal. Did the other ones have that? I don't think the other ones are going to have that. No, it's just going to be that one because I made an extrusion off of that to make it. Okay, so we'll have to fix that as well. Ooh, did I do that on this computer? I might have done that on my work laptop, which I don't remember if I saved it in the right spot that I actually have it update on this. So we'll have to check. But let's check the size of these to make sure it feels better. What's my weapon of choice for modeling? Maya. Which I'll open in a minute if I have those meshes in my Google Drive folder. I can't remember if I put them in there or not. I feel like I did, but I'm second guessing myself. Just heard normal softening. Yeah, I did a little bit with Blender when I first got on this project, but I was so slow because I'm just not as familiar with it, and I've been using Maya for a while. Like 16, 17 years, something like that. So I just feel like I'm so much slower when I'm using Maya. That still feels large. Height-wise, the interior actually feels not too bad. But these also do feel nice for the camera. I don't know. I might try shrinking him down and then see if anybody on the team is like, these are really small. Can you increase the size? I think this one works fine at this height, but these ones just feel weird. Okay, let's fix those, 'cause it's gonna drive me nuts. And then we'll take a look at that that edge normal, or that normal's edge, I guess would be the proper way to English that phrase. Autodesk gave me a free 3-year license for my LT because they're discounting, or discontinuing, FYI for anyone who needs that. And I haven't used Maya LT in forever. I used it on a project a long time ago. Because that's what the team was using. So I just used that license. Let's try this. Just one. Ooh, that looks not so hot. 25. It's not too bad. Sure, none of these are floating now. And then I gotta go do this to the one that's out in the... I didn't even get these ones fixed. 125. Yeah, the only thing that stinks about Maya is that it costs money. I can get Maya for free, but I can't use it commercially. That's the problem. Because my day job is a teacher, so I can get a 3-year free license all the time. I just can't get the commercial one. I'll have to look into the LT though, because if LT, if I can get LT for free, that'll save me what, like $250 in a couple months when I have to renew. miss the good old days of just perpetual licenses. You pay a couple hundred and have it. I mean, I have an old version of Maya 5 that I have a perpetual license for as well, but yeah, Maya 8.5 was like, what, 2008, 2007, so the tools are quite dated at this point. Yeah, so you can perpetual license were definitely the best. LT is $200 a year. I think I just have Maya Indie, and I think that's $250 a year, something like that. I don't know. You'll see me crying about it in a couple months, so you can ask me then. Okay, these feel a little bit better. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Until you launch, it's not commercial. Do you ever teach your students things like, here's how you would make a tent? Then just slam that into M&M. No. Just because right now most of my classes aren't specifically modeling classes. They're like level design classes, which obviously, you know, I essentially, you guys watch me do level design all the time. But I have to figure out why this keeps doing this, where it starts raining inside here. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Anyways, all the levels, most of the classes I teach that are 3D are in Unreal. So me doing something in Unreal doesn't translate to working here in Unity. So alas, I do not. It'd be nice to be able to do that though. During studio times though, I'll be working on M&M between student questions or like walking around to see if anybody's stuck. Wow, I just lagged. Or I didn't lag, I kind of speed bounced right into that. Cool. That works. But yeah, between questions or like walking around to see if anybody needs help with anything, I'll do some level design. Let's see. Yeah, Perpetual's the best. I'll be living off my ZBrush Perpetual now, that they switched. Yeah, I specifically snagged a license before they switched, because I wasn't going to get trapped. Granted, I don't use ZBrush all that often, but I was also like, I really should just grab the Perpetual license before I get screwed. I did the same thing with Substance. So I've got both Designer and Painter. Granted, they're older versions now. Like the Painter, I think, is like a year behind now already. And my Designer's like 2 years behind. Or 3, 2.5, 3, something like that. But I also don't feel like they've come out with anything that I was like, oh man, I really wish I had that. Yep, I finally bought ZBrush before they would rip it away. Magic Rain. It rains quite often in the desert. Yeah, right now we don't have a like the full weather system set up. I know Ali was talking about like once we have all the zones kind of built out, having it like it actually makes sense. So if it's like the rain's progressing from like west to east, it would move by whatever zone. But we don't have that logic set up, obviously, because we don't have all the zones. So right now, it just kind of triggers at, I don't know, random intervals or something like that. I would assume there won't be as frequent rain as you see when the game is, you know, fully ready to launch. Same here, Substance, the Steam 2020 version or something. Yeah, I grabbed the Steam version of Designer, but I had bought the non-Steam version of Painter before that. And then I think I grabbed a couple of the like the year maintenance, so it was like if you wanted to re-up and get like another year of maintenance, it was like $75 or something like that. So I did that a couple times, but you don't get that option anymore. But again, I really haven't seen Substance come out with anything in the last couple years that I really would want anyways, and be like, oh, I'm gonna spend another $75 on that feature. So the city blockout looks great with all the work being done on the harbor. Oh yeah, the stuff Simon has been working on is great. I need to start actually treating like the rooftops. I put some of the stuff for these. Actually, I'm gonna do some more windows now to try to unify the top finish of this with some of this. But yeah, this area is filling out really nicely. It's also really cool to kind of like just come back and start to see the city like really starting to fill out as it moves that way, and then I'll be moving up into this area. And then we still need to clean up this. This is super rough over here, but I want to try to get this market area a little bit more finalized, so I can start throwing some more materials on here. So when testers come in, it looks more done, and helps draw in the attention of people. So let's throw in some hey, I guess the right one. And then I'm assuming the extrude isn't going to be let. Oh, that's actually not bad. Delete these. This is more of a I have to do weird things to prevent me putting a ton of extra edge loops in that I'll have to clean up later. So I did 50. So it'll be right there. Although I shouldn't have, actually I'm only doing this one, the front and back, so I didn't need to delete the side ones. Oops. Sometimes the things you have to do with Pro Builder to like get stuff to function because you can't delete edge loops is so bizarre. But it's kind of fun at the same time. It's like a mental puzzle. I was always really good with those shape puzzles where you have like a bunch of shapes that you have to piece together to make a larger shape. It's always really good with those. I forget what they're called though. Let's see. Zukin has the perpetual substance through Steam, if I could speak. Fool me once. The city block. I already read that one. Funny how collectively scarred we are by Adobe. Oh, I don't know if I've ever read a more true statement. Oh, they started this madness. Yes, they did. And I am not at all shocked that they were the ones that started the madness, but they did, and it was unfortunate for creatives. I'm sure there's stockholders that love it, but okay. Oop, apparently I forgot to put this face back. And this one. And this one. I mean, I'm on a roll. And that one I did not select the correct face. There we go. So yeah, just kind of doing stuff like that around should help. But the thing I want to focus on first, I think, are the windows, because I've got, what, 1, 2, 3... Yeah, I've got a couple buildings that I've neglected putting windows in. So let's get around to doing that. So it's been a bit since I've been in this building, so I gotta get my lay of the land down. Does each building have a defined purpose, or are some filler buildings? Some are filler buildings, Durgoth. And then some of them, Sean and Nick have gone through and like populated. Like I believe there's merchants in here. We are actually going to be going through and like planning out what all of the places' names are. And then some of them are also eventually probably going to end up being player housing once we get around to building that. Which we've gotten some of the initial volume-based stuff set up, so we can like assign a player owns a volume and that only that player is allowed in the volume unless you know, like we can define the people that are allowed into said volume. So that's what some of the purpose has been, is, you know, that some of these places will be populated and then other ones are just going to be empty spaces that eventually will be housing. Why not make a building in Maya and plop it in instead of Pro Builder? here in the instance. It's just way faster, Miguel, to do it in here. The only thing is, eventually we're gonna have to do an export out and then a re-import in, so they're no longer ProBuilder. But it's a lot faster to do it in here because we can do it to scale pretty easily. We can test it really fast. It's not a bunch of back and forth. Some of the buildings that I had, some of these buildings, like this was made in Maya. This was like one of the first things I did before I even officially joined the team. Because the first thing I did when I officially joined the team was import these in. So I had been working on these in the background before I had officially joined the team. But it's already been, I've been on the team long enough that I actually have to like think back at this point. But yeah, so these were made in Maya. I still have to fix, there's a seam here that I need to fix. But anyways, it's just, yeah, it's way faster to get it up and running. We can also, like, delete stuff and move stuff around pretty easily, which granted we could do, like these tents and stuff like that have been modeled in Maya. Let me go to my modeling folder. Like these were modeled in Maya. These buildings were all modeled in Maya. So certain things are harder to do. So like these curved shapes, and then these windows like that are moving around are way more difficult to do with ProBuilder than they are in Maya, because in Maya I can just do special duplications and stuff like that to get those to work. And then I can like edge slide to move stuff around, where you can kind of in ProBuilder edge slide, but it's really like a gamble whether it's going to A, slide correctly, or B, even like follow the normal's edge, because sometimes it just doesn't do it. So the more curved structures are, the less likely we can do it in ProBuilder. But ProBuilder, because of a lot of the technical limitations it has, in terms of like the tools, it actually helps hit the more chunky classic aesthetic without like falling back onto a more modern, like, I want to bevel this edge and then I'm going to do this, because it's harder to do that type of stuff in this program. Or is it an idea to make these buildings truly unique by their function? Iteration, cool beans. Oh, I guess I had 2 Adobe accounts and was logged into the wrong one. Ooh, I have 2 Adobe accounts. I have one through work, and then I had one on my own, but the one through work is the one I use now. But yeah, it just helps with iteration. It helps. It also lets it so like anybody can work on it that knows ProBuilder. If we need, like if Simon was coming in and needed to do a change to something real quick, he could do that without having to like dig through all the files and find, what building is this and then where's the file for it. So it just kind of is a little bit easier in that manner as well. But you have to do weird stuff like I'm doing right now. Because I can't just make the edges the way I normally would and then delete them. Oh my god, come on. And the selection it leaves something to be desired. Um, There, that's the shape I was looking for. Okay. So then we will collapse all these down. Working within constraints is always good. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, the tools themselves really kind of help with that being constrained in. It doesn't, like, I don't naturally, at least for myself, I don't find myself naturally trying to do a more modern style, which is my, you know, if I'm doing stuff on my own, I tend to do more photorealistic stuff, like this M1 Grand I did a couple years, oh yeah, a couple years ago now, because that was like my initial COVID lockdown project that I did. Hold on. Gonna need an edge loop. Edge loop, there we go. Actually, what am I doing? I don't... I'm sitting here, like, modeling these, and I'm like, I don't need to actually model them. I already... Oh, feels like a Monday. My brain isn't working. Okay, so I have those. Let's delete that. Like, going on autopilot and not actually, like, critically thinking, which is probably not the best way to model, but whatever. Ah. Actually, let's do it this way. Exactly what I just tried not to do on the other side. Again, need to start actually, like, waking my brain up, I guess. Usually a good thing to do. got to work with? How many meters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. And I was thinking 3 windows, so every 5. I can do math sometimes. It's in the middle of each one of these. Hold on, I think I selected something I didn't want to select. That time I definitely... Oh my god, I just did it twice in a row. There we go. That was, yep, 20, report 25. There we go. Okay, let's clean up these holes in the side. It's done. All right. Let's clean up this side now. Just link these together. Sorry, I'm like zoning into my work and not talking to you guys. Oh, let's do it this way. Actually, that way was fine. Honestly, I could probably just merge that down. But that, again, that's some of this stuff is gonna be way easier to clean up when I can just select it and delete it. Like a modeling application. Have any of you guys been watching the Andor series on Disney Plus? I've been I just caught the most recent episode without any spoilers, but it was a really good episode. I haven't seen Andor, but from what I hear, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. The acting in it is probably some of the best in a Star Wars like show or movie, to be honest. So I'm some of the new Star Wars stuff I haven't been a fan of. I wasn't a big fan of the sequel trilogy after A Force Awakens. They really let that go off the rails with The Last Jedi. But I liked Rogue One, and if they keep up with the quality of the show so far, I honestly think I might like Andor better than I like Rogue One. And The Mandalorian was pretty good. I mean, it's really good. I enjoy that for sure. Book of Boba, as much as I love Boba Fett, I wasn't a huge fan of the show. And the end of Clone Wars was great. And whatchamacallit, the one the new animation, the short animations they released, Tales of the Jedi, those were really good. I really enjoyed those. It's only like 6 episodes though. It's hard to bring myself to it, but probably eventually. LOL. I'm still stunned by Obi-Wan. I'm conflicted with Obi-Wan. Like, I like it, but man, did they pushed that right up to the edge of like believability canon wise. But it was fun to watch at a minimum. And it was fun seeing Ewan and Hayden again, kind of reprising their roles. Yeah, that was the best part about Obi-Wan. It was a heck of a lot of nostalgia. The story wasn't bad. It was paced fairly well, and had some nice new characters and stuff like that. The Star Wars purist in me has minor issues, but I'm hoping they do the rest, because I think they adapted that from the first movie of what was going to be an Obi-Wan trilogy. So I'm hoping they get around to doing the other ones. Although, if it just keeps being duel after duel of Anakin and Vader, that kind of gets weird. Dude, the Skywalker kids were not likable. My problem, and I don't want to like bash the actor who was playing Luke, but he doesn't look like Mark Hamill at all. And you can't say it was because that he got the role because he's a good actor, because he didn't really have anything to do. Like, maybe they cast him for his acting ability with the future kind of in mind, but he didn't really look like Mark Hamill, and he didn't have a big enough active part in the show to be like, oh, they totally brought him on just because he was really good at it. You know, he really nailed the role. I thought what's her name that played Leia did a good job being that kind of sassy independent princess that Leia is. What is going on here? Oh, that's what's going on here. Okay, hold on a second. Do you have any other areas where that's doing it? I think we're good. Okay. And fun, but like, yikes. Kid Leia was weird. Only part I liked was Vader pulling the ship down with the Force. That was straight up like out of like a nod to the Force Awakens game, or the Force Unleashed games. Which, man, the first one of those was so good. The second one was so not. Oops, wrong button. Nope. But yeah, the first Force Awakens game was awesome. The second game was great gameplay-wise, but the story was just, ugh, my god. You could tell that there was a change in leadership midway through the project. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the whole Andor story. I think one of my favorite things about Rogue One was that they kind of showed the dark side of the not the Empire, but the dark side of like the rebellion. That there was some definite morally gray stuff going on in the background. But besides that, I enjoyed some other parts of Kenobi for sure as well. The duel, the second duel, was pretty sweet. But again, it kind of comes back to it's tapping into a nostalgia. They're doing a Sith-based show. Van. That like really showed how evil they were. But I don't think we'll see that from Disney. I would love if I could sit down and choose any Star Wars like EU story that they would tell as a show, or even as a movie, my vote would definitely be the Darth Bane trilogy, being adapted as a movie or a show, because I loved those books. 1, 2. Need to get HBO the rights for something like that. I'm wondering how, because they're doing the Acolyte now. The problem with the thing that has me the most worried is it's supposedly going to be dealing with Darth Plagueis, and I'm like, oh, like that could be so cool, because I've read the Plagueis book, but I'm going to be so disappointed if they completely mess up that storyline, which I'm afraid they will. Because I don't know, I don't know if that's one Filoni is working on. Because Filoni has earned my trust over the years. I remember I met him briefly at SIGGRAPH years ago, like when they were introducing the Clone Wars, and I was very much like, what is this? And very like anti it, and glad to say I was wrong about the Clone Wars, and then also about Filoni, because I was like, who is this weird guy in the cowboy hat? What does he know about Star Wars? But I was wrong. Let's see. That'd be true HBO thing. Bane was so good. Yeah, but Bane was awesome. That would be such a cool thing to see in live action. If done correctly. If not, I would be very, very, very sad. Because that book series was so good. But yeah, I'm definitely worried that they'll kind of screw up the whole Darth Plagueis storyline with the new show. But I've also learned to hold my judgment until I actually see something, because some things I think are going to be awesome and they're not, and then some things I think they're going to be crap and they're amazing. Let's see. What the people are truly crying about, though, is Jar Jar hosting a daytime talk show. They had Ahmed Best do that, like, Jedi Legends of the Hidden Temple show. You moved a vector way in the back. Did I actually move it? Did I not? I thought I had hit Control Z. So I'm sure I'll find whatever I accidentally moved. Okay, I ended it. Good. Okay. Wanted to make sure it wasn't one of the ones that I didn't undo. Because there's definitely been times where I'll float around and be like, oh, I totally accidentally moved this at some point and never noticed. So I appreciate when anybody shouts out that type of stuff. Not that it's super hard to put the stuff back, because for the most part, at least with the structures, I've been staying to the grid, so it makes fixing those types of errors real easy. Okay. Okay. So, response to that. It'd also be pretty cool to see Knights of the Old Republic done in live action, but I would be afraid that they just would try to change the story to kind of give you that mystery back that the game had, but in the process ruin it. Because obviously the twist would not be a twist for the majority of people out there. But I don't know. I'd rather have a true adaptation of a story than the story changed to try to trick people. I don't think that works. Unless you're really, really, really good at making the story better, but the chances of that, I feel, are so slim that I'd rather just have true adaptations. Let's see. I've been playing around with making a super classic feeling EQ dungeon, and I hate when I find something way in the back all jacked up. Yeah, no, I definitely have been there. Recently, in the last week or so, it was over the weekend. I was fixing some stuff over in the garrison, and I found some stuff that I obviously moved accidentally and never noticed. I'm like, oh, that wasn't all broken and jacked up the last time I was in here. But yeah, I was playing around over here in the garrison, I moved this doorway over, which caused me to have to shift a lot of the interior spaces, and then some of it's obviously still needs to be modeled. Basically everything from here going this way needs to be modeled still. But I did want to shift the doorway, because the doorway just felt weird being like right up against here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to fix this. Let's do that. Wanted to have it transition back to the stone material, and I totally forgot to do that. Even in here anymore. Okay, that's better. Come on, let me select. There we go. Oh, there's a seam there. I did that on stream too. Is there a seam up here? No, that's good. Okay. So we got that. And let's fix the seam. Oops. Select my material group. There we go. I get worried about, or thinking about, them touching that stuff. I think people who know the twist to KOTOR, is minuscule compared to the movie shows. Yeah, there's definitely not. There's a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans that obviously know the twist, but there's a lot of people that probably don't know the twist, which is why I'm not revealing it. But back when the game came out, that twist was awesome. I don't feel like it'd be like that big of a surprise nowadays, though. Let me fix this. Geo's getting all crazy. It's not expected. Pro Builder is so weird at times. Like, I don't, like, I don't understand why I did that. I didn't have those selected, but whatever. This would probably just be the easiest way to do it. Just delete them like this. And I guarantee you there's going to be like a seam right here now. Oh, no. It didn't make a seam. Awesome. Oh. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's better. But yeah, so, you know, I like I was saying before, I cleaned up in here and moved some stuff around, which gave a little bit more space and stuff, and I started playing around with some of these banners. So we've had banners, but they weren't like laid out for adding emblems to. So we had a description of what the heraldry of this was, so I at least did a first rough pass on the cross swords with a arrow. What else did I do this weekend? Obviously I you know, did these prefabs and fixed some stuff up. Made these torches that have a hold on. Have a scrolling material on them now, so they kind of look like they're on fire inside the little cracks and stuff. Put some of those in here. What else did I do? Yeah, this you guys already saw this kind of populated out these areas that are going to be camps for the archaeologists. Eventually, you know, there might be some like artifacts and stuff that are related to stuff you see in Wormsbane on the tables, but for now they're just empty. I feel like there was something else I did too. Oh, I did a bunch of just like further organization of the hierarchies and stuff like that. So like the garrison is now all the garrison pieces are now in the garrison subscene. All the docks in the docks, all the necropolises in the necropolis. These ones are mostly kind of set, but yeah, so that's the other stuff I was doing. Let's finish up this building. Oops. think I'll do a window off of this wall. Did you learn this kind of stuff in Unity, or was a change you made for M&M? Are you talking about modeling or just like laying stuff out? Because I definitely learned modeling initially in Maya. And then I actually had not used Pro Builder before I got on the project. Actually, next month will probably be about a year from when I started using Pro Builder. Because the last time I'd worked on a Unity project was like probably 2015, 2016, something like that. And Pro Builder was not a whatchamacallit, a built-in feature at that time. And the game I was working on was a was like a research project for a professor at a local college, trying to help small kids like confront fears or something like along those lines. And they had purchased a bunch of prefab like market assets. So for the most part, it was just doing level design like this type of stuff, but with modular pieces that I didn't have to do much to. There was a couple of them like I'd export out and I had to do a couple like extra things. But for the most part, it was just doing level design and building a world for them. Modeling. Hey Valoreth, I am doing pretty good. Hope you're doing as fine as well. Yeah, modeling I learned 2005, 2006, I think is when I first started modeling. Somewhere around there. I want that centered, or do I want it? I think I'm gonna keep it centered and have it a little off axis, or not, kind of offset from that other one. Do you anticipate M&M having world mechanisms like fake walls, fake floors, traps, etc.? Yes, we already have some in. I also have plans to kind of do small revamps to some of this stuff. Now that we have like an actual door system in. I want to do stuff with, you know, fake floors that you can fall through. I want to do stuff with like triggered floors that if you can get a player to them, they'll, you know, like hit a button or pull a lever or, you know, access some sort of interactable object that will make the floor solid, or like slide the floor over to a solid floor, that type of thing. But we've also talked about having doorways and stuff that are, you tied to cycles of the moon or certain times a day, things like that that are rare, that you can either go to areas that you just can't get to, or might make your traversal to a certain area easier if something's out. So kind of think like dwarvish doors and moon runes and stuff like that from Tolkien. So we have all sorts of ideas to do stuff like that. And that was not actually placed in the right spot. Oops. Let's see. My OCD uneven things. Yeah, I get a bit of that when I'm looking at like some of the stuff. I'm like, the edge flows aren't going in the right direction. But it's also like geo that I know I'm gonna eventually just delete the edge loop for. So I'm like, okay, don't take the time to straighten it out and waste actual like time doing, because you're just gonna get rid of it at some point anyways. Awesome. Always going back and changing old stuff. I can't stop myself. I think you got it. Oh yeah, I mean, there's the that saying that like art is only done when you kind of get to the I'm totally butchering the saying. It's done when it's done. No. It's never truly done, or something along those lines, where, well, I'm really just not articulating stuff today. But anyways, when is it done and when is it finished can be two different things, essentially. We'll pretend like I actually had like a really refined thought there, because that did not come out of my mouth as smoothly as it worked in my head. Alright, so that works. This is really where I miss BSP in Unreal, because I could just create one of these and then just like duplicate it and move it and just stick it into the wall, and then I could just use subtractive and just cut holes over and over and over again, as opposed to having to like model each of these. But alas, the subtractive brush stuff that apparently you can do in Pro Builder, I could not get to work. Let's see, we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and a half. Just do like that. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are going to be the last two windows I'm going to do for this for right now. So I'm kind of getting towards the end of my stream window. And then hopefully by the time I stream again on Monday, this whole area should be finished. And by I mean finished, like official, like rough pass type finish. Again, still we'll need to, you know, do actual art pass and everything like that. And once we get some feedback from testing and stuff like that, I'm sure we'll make design changes to things. Once we kind of see what's working and resonating with people and what's not. I guess I'll do one more window, because I did want one off this front section. Wish it would prioritize the edge loops on the mesh you're on and not edge loops on meshes you're not on. But alas, it does not. Okay. Well, I have that piece in there, so me waiting for that was kind of pointless. I wasn't thinking. Again, it seems like that's the theme of today's stream. Me not actually, like, thinking through. One. Cool. So that is all good. Let me hit save. And I'm going to probably call that a stream at this point. And then I've got a couple more buildings that I need to do windows on. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think? 5. 6. I got 6 more that I got to do those on. So that should be done. And then I got to start, you know, doing more of these, like, top dressings to them. And then after that, I can at least throw on a rough texture because I won't need the grid anymore. So the city or the night market will start to come alive a little bit more, hopefully. So thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. If anybody is new, I'm gonna spam you with a bunch of links. This first link is to our website. We are making a indie MMO called Monsters and Memories. It's kind of a throwback to that kind of first generation MMOs from the late 90s, early 2000s. So I think EverQuest, Asheron's Call, Ultima Online, Dark Age of Camelot, like that era of MMOs. So if you haven't already, make sure to check out the website. There's all sorts of information on there, updates, Q&A type stuff, or frequently asked questions, sorry, not Q&A. If you do have questions, we can give you answers if you join our Discord channel. So if you hop in there, all of the developers are in there. Feel free to ask questions generally or tag any of us. We're usually pretty good at responding. Also, we've got a fairly decent sized community. There's always some sort of conversation going on, whether it's about our game or other games, tabletops, all sorts of different things. So feel free to join that. We also have a mailing list if you'd like to stay up to date on the development of the game. These are other team members that stream And then we also, if you want to get caught up on past VODs from me or any of the other team members, check out our YouTube channel. We post all of our VODs there. Some of us faster than others. I apologize. Yeah, check that out. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, click the bell, all that fun stuff that helps us out with the algorithm to push the content out to more people that are interested in MMOs and, you know, specifically some of the older MMOs that are out there. So definitely appreciate all that. Thank you to all of my channel subscribers. Appreciate all the support. If anybody is watching on YouTube and wants to join in on the live stream chats, there should be a link in the description below to my channel, Paytas the Ranger on Twitch. Just follow the link, throw it a follow. You'll get a notification whenever I go live. You can also subscribe to Discord notifications, so you'll get a notification when anybody on the team goes live. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. And I will catch you guys on Monday. My stream times are Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, with that said, you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Later.